Today, we remember
the lives tragically lost on September 11, 2001.
the brothers,
sisters,
mothers, and fathers,
We remember the pain of our neighbors.
our friends, and our families.
We remember the extraordinary heroes.
The first responders.
And volunteers.
We remember the kindness of strangers and compassion of a nation.
The events of 9/11 showed us what a person is capable of.
And that our spirits and souls are unbreakable.
We learned that when we stand united, we are stronger.
What was meant to discourage us brought us together. Never forget what was lost on that day. And never forget what you are capable of. I will never forget.
Stop, listen, and ask yourself, have you ever pondered at the idea that there may be something to the other side? If so, and you're hearing my voice for the first time, then you may have just fallen into the void.
This is Scaredy Cat Vasquez from Han Talk Audio, and I'm falling with G-Man into the void.
Well, hey there, hello there, bats and ghouls, and welcome to a very exciting episode of Into the Void, the podcast that talks about anything and everything paranormal. I am, as always, your ghost host with the most, G-Man, bringing you the latest things that go bump in the night. Real ghostly encounters, Halloween events, and Halloween-related news. It is once again wonderful to be back here at Undercity Comics in beautiful Whittier, California. The sun is shining, the birds are singing, and as you may have noticed on the Into the Void Instagram page, Halloween decorations are officially making their way on the shelves. Yes, it is that magical time of year when the veil thins and all creatures of the dark begin to crawl out from the shadows. As a matter of fact, I have with me in studio two lively spirits, ready and raring to talk all things paranormal. That is right, bats and ghouls. These two have returned from beyond the grave and right into the studio. But before I do, what better way to start off this episode than to do what I love to do, and that is give a big shout out to Blackthorne. Seeking a cozy and comfy night in while listening to your favorite podcast or YouTube channel? Maybe some cute or spooky accessories for a night out among the tombstones. Maybe you're looking to spice up your evening wear. Whatever your guilty pleasure may be, Blackthorne is sure to find something you'll love. Blackthorne has the coziest loungewear, sleekest accessories, and comfiest lingerie. Blackthorne has designs that allow you to dress up or bum down for any occasion. From hats to eyewear and ear accessories, Blackthorne has what you need to make that ghoulish outfit stand out in the night. Just visit blackthornela.com. That's blackthornela.com. And what kind of podcast would we be without a word from our sponsor for this episode? That's not going to work. No, that's not working either. No, it's not. Nope, that's not going. Nope. How about this? No, that's it.
Master,
I'm not going.
Master, what seems to be the problem?
Well, Igor, if you must know, I cannot find a single thing to wear, and I am taking the missus out tonight.
Well, Master, why don't you head on over to lovepaintandstitches.com?
What is this Love, Paint, and Stitches?
Love Paint and Stitches creates and designs unique handbags for the macabre lifestyle. Their handcrafted bags are made with quality materials and perhaps a hint of magic. You can complete your ensemble with the Bride of the Monster crossbody bag from the Vixen collection designed by Michelin Pitt. Or perhaps you prefer a lovely green or purple glitter pumpkin trunk and shoulder bag from their trick or trash collection. Only the most top quality bags found in the dumpster can complete the gray banshee look you seek. Love Pain and Stitches. Be sure to visit their website, lovepainandstitches.com, to find the perfect handbag to suit your individual taste. And don't forget to browse their accessories for keychains, pins, and stickers. I love stickers. Love Pain and Stitches. Find them at lovepainandstitches.com and follow them on Instagram at Love Pain and Stitches.
Welcome back, Bats and Ghouls, to the podcast that brings you paranormal talk and spooky fun. Speaking of spooky fun, I believe it's time I introduce two amazing people back to the studio. So without further ado, let's welcome back a man who's been contemplating the boundaries of reality and challenges the laws of physics themselves. He brings the stir in the word strange. Bats and Ghouls, I give you the strange one.
Sorry, I came out of the closet because they left me here for weeks at a time. I went hungry.
Oh, man.
And thirsty and a little tired of knocking on the door, wailing from the back. They thought the closet was kind of, haunted. So they just ignored it.
I completely forgot we left you in there. I'm so sorry. Strange one. I thought I had the keys. I had to go back and pick them up. I do apologize for that.
And you forgot. What was I over here for? 3 weeks later.
Well, Strange one, it is great to have you back in the studio. It is good to see you, man. Again, we apologize for leaving you in the closet for so long. We didn't think you were going to be in there for that long. I thought it was going to be like 5 minutes, but
somebody said, "Hey, can you put this box in the closet?" All of a sudden, the door's closed and I can't get out.
Well, it's great to see you. What's been going on with you lately?
Life, love, and the pursuit of everything else that's going on.
I love it. I love it. Well, Bats and Ghouls, also joining myself and the Strange one is a man who makes the magic happen in and out of the studio. A man who runs the sound for this show and many other podcasts. Bats and Ghouls, all the way from the front desk of Undercity Comics and host of the podcast Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. I give you the one, the only, Mr. Rene, Milk Crate Challenge Champion of the World, Bravo.
Hey, the Milk Crate Challenge, I was like, man, I just saw that on TikTok.
Oh my gosh. Can you believe that?
That is. I'm just watching it. I'm like, what's the point?
Yeah. I've been wondering that myself. And the fact that people have been doing this and getting hurt is incredibly dumb.
I don't know if it is because I'm almost 30 now and I'm just looking at it. I'm just like, these kids are dumb.
And yet, if we were their age,
I'm willing to bet it's still the same kids who did the Tide Pod Challenge.
Oh, right.
Oh gosh.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Well, Rene, welcome back, man.
Thank you.
I know you're here in the studio a lot, but welcome back to Into the Void, the show.
Yes.
It has been a while.
It has. Yeah. I've been just mostly, trying to get by and just working, focusing on that, on my relationship that I'm in right now. And it's been doing well.
Wonderful.
Awesome.
And also working on, as you mentioned, my podcast. That's been really fun. That's been really great.
Yeah, man.
Now I'm reaching to the point where I was telling Strange One, now we're reaching the point of the podcast. Now we know the motions of what to do and how to do it now.
Good.
We're on schedules. We have time, what to do and how to do it. And so
wonderful.
Now that I could possibly come back and help out in the show and stuff.
Wonderful. Wonderful. Bats and Ghouls, for those of you who are unaware, Rene does have his own podcast. And Rene, this podcast is called Keeping Up with the Nerds Variety Hour. Mm-hmm. Can you let our Bats and Ghouls know more about your podcast and what you guys are all about?
So all of us, there's three of us. There's me, my friend Brian, and our friend Nick, where we just basically get together and just talk about any sort of nerd pulp culture or any nerd news in general. We mostly review movies, TV shows. Lately, we are reviewing the show What If on Disney Plus.
Oh, love that show.
And then we
haven't watched it yet myself.
It's really good.
You're missing out, Strange One.
I want to, but I'm like, I can't invest in it until I can watch it sit and watch it.
Yeah.
I don't want to be interrupted and watch one at a time. I want to just sit and just binge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So on my show, again, we're not as structured as Into the Void here. For us, we like to kind of just have a point and we just kind of snowball half the time, but then we try to have somewhat of topics to go off of and stuff. And it's just really fun. It's just a bunch of three nerdy dudes that just want to talk about stuff.
I love it.
Yeah, and then we do skits as well.
Wonderful.
So we've been doing that lately.
Yeah, I noticed you guys had a skit. I want to say it was on your YouTube or your Instagram, and it was called Haircut.
Yeah,
that was a good one.
Thank you.
If you haven't had a chance, Bants of Ghouls, check it out. It's called Haircut. I even posted it up on my Facebook.
Yeah.
And it shows Rene. I believe you were like, you had this part where like you walked out.
Yeah.
And the way you walked out was so dramatic. I love the way it happened.
It was a kind of like a play on to how WandaVision was. We were playing off of that, and then it was really fun because it was my first haircut since COVID.
Oh,
So,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's why we decided to kind of like make a little skit out of it and stuff. So.
Oh man,
Yeah.
That's crazy. Speaking of haircuts, let's talk about the strange one.
Some moron cutting my hair. I cut my own hair, listeners.
Really? Do you really?
I did, but my hair's getting too long, and I'm afraid to really use the scissors on top. I did cut the back, and I can feel it's a little uneven. I still got to even out this part here. Towards the end. But for the most part, I've been doing a pretty decent job, I think. Just
No, you did a good job. Yeah.
I'm just keeping it clean so that my head doesn't get too hot. But I do need to get a professional cut to get to even out the ends of the top.
Make it neat. Yeah, you have the base. You just need to make it neat.
Exactly. So
I love that you guys have hair. I have none.
You got facial hair.
I mean, you know how people have forehead. I have like a 5'6" head going on now. I'm losing all this hair, man. So I can't really do much.
I gotta say, G-Man, though, I'm always jealous of your beard because I can't grow facial hair like that.
I do appreciate that because I'm very fond of my beard.
Yes,
actually, thank you. Except when people come up to me and say, "Can I touch your beard?" That is weird.
That is weird.
Have you ever gotten that?
No,
Renee?
mine's not pretty enough. Mine just looks like I kind of, obviously that guy let it go.
I love that. I love how he said, "Mine's not pretty enough."
We're waiting for Rene to be a wizard. I'm like, I want to touch his magical beard.
Have you thought about growing it out longer?
I have thought about growing it out longer, but the problem is that I have curly hair. So like, even if I try to grow it out longer, it
it's
just
just gonna get
curls
fixed.
up. Yeah.
Like a thick little
it
thing.
hides like Smeagol. So, it's weird. Well, gentlemen, it is so great to have you back here in the studio. And I figured what a better way to have you back than to bring back a fan favorite segment known as Cauldron News.
Hey there, bats and ghouls. Welcome to Cauldron News. It's nothing you expected, but everything you wanted. In this segment, we will strive to bring you updates on social events such as Halloween conventions, haunts, and Halloween fundraisers. Basically, anything we can pull together to help you come together and join a community of horror and Halloween enthusiasts. Here's what's going on in your Halloween community. Now, let's get strange. Living the Scream will feature a uniquely curated dark art gallery, hands-on special effects demos, a complimentary professional horror photo booth, a horror caricature artist, tarot card readers, sideshow performers, live seances, scare actors to raise your spirits, hearses, horror vendors, and a DJ spinning creepy tunes. And in case you're hungry during the event, there will be delicious food, spooky baked goods, and a licensed horror bartender ready to mix your spirits. Living the Scream will take place on October 23rd between 3 and 11 p.m. at Loft 1923. That's located at 1515 Compton Avenue in Los Angeles, California. For tickets and event information, visit eventbrite.com and search Living the Scream Asylum. General admission is $7 with all-day admission at $15. Children 12 and under get in for free. Costumes are encouraged, especially asylum-themed costumes, so put on your best. Be sure to get there early as parking is limited. Good times are waiting behind the gates of the Realm of the Shadows. The Realm of the Shadows is a family-friendly Halloween haunted attraction located at the Trinity Christian School and Trinity Lutheran Church in Norwalk, California. Located at 11507 Studebaker Road. Yes, the Realm of Shadow is excited to bring you a gore-free haunted maze that focuses on scares of extreme creepiness. Children 10 years and under must be accompanied by an adult, and parents are encouraged to accompany their children throughout the event. Candy will be treated at the end of the maze, as well as gospel tracks to spread the good word. The Realm of Shadow event is aimed to bring together the community and provide an avenue in which to engage in spiritual conversation with attendees. For more information on the event, be sure to visit the website at realmofshadow.com. That's realmofshadow.com. Starting as a simple pop-up where small shops within the Halloween community could unite and showcase their hard work and love for the Halloween spirit, Salem's Market has exploded into a mid-sized Halloween extravaganza with dozens of spooky stalls filled with food, drink, merchandise vendors, plenty of photo opportunities, live music, and much more. Be sure to get there early to make sure you don't miss out on all the fun. Salem's Market is a 2-day event at the Elks Lodge in Garden Grove, California. Located at 11551 Trask Avenue, the event will take place on October 2nd between 12 and 7 p.m. and October 3rd between 12 and 6 p.m. Free for children 12 years and under, and $7 for adults. VIP options are available. For tickets and event information, visit salemsmarketevents.com, and don't forget to visit their Facebook and Instagram pages at Salem's Market. After hearing about all these amazing upcoming events, I'm sure many of you have already started decorating for the spooky season, and I'm sure some of you have already finished. But if you're looking for some inspiration or some awesome Halloween memorabilia, head on over to the Heritage Museum of Orange County, located at 3101 West Harvard Street in Santa Ana, California, for the Creep It Rio OC Expo, happening on Sunday, September 12th, between 12 and 6 p.m. As always, Creep It Rio OC is dedicated to bringing together Orange County's Halloween community, along with local haunt leaders, to share with you all things Halloween. And in the spirit of bringing together Halloween enthusiasts, G-Man and I will be on site to rein in and raise the spirits with all of those attending. Be sure to look for us on stage and wandering the grounds at the event. For more information on the event or to purchase your tickets, visit their website at creepitrioOC.mystrikingly.com. That's creepitrioOC.mystrikingly.com. We're dying to see you there. Back to you, G-Man.
Well, thank you, Strange One. Great job, as usual. Well, gentlemen, I have an announcement to make. About a week ago, I was working around the house in the lovely California heat. We all know what that's like.
Oh, yeah. Yep. Yeah.
And began feeling somewhat parched and in the mood for a nice, cold, refreshing beverage. Now, not just any beverage, but a seasonal beverage. You know where I'm going with this. Mm-hmm. So, like many Americans nowadays, I placed my order through Uber Eats, and within 30 minutes, I was able to indulge my very first pumpkin spice refreshment of the year. That's right. Pumpkin spice has once again made its way back into our lives. So, as I was sitting in the shade of my barren backyard, I was reminded of something I discussed in season 2. And I will remind you of what that is right after a word from our sponsor for this episode. Well, hey there, bats and ghouls. G-Man here. You know, when I'm looking to accessorize my Halloween attire, I go to lovepaintandstitches.com. Love Paint and Stitches. They bring you the thriftiest and spookiest handbags, purses, and accessories. Love Paint and Stitches is a mom and son team dedicated to designing and creating unique bags for the macabre lifestyle and for the spooky at heart since 2013. They offer customer handcrafted bags made with quality material and just a pinch of magic. The Love Paint and Stitches team strives to be creative with their designs and consistently work on making new and uniquely different bags that any Halloween lover could fall in love with. Love Paint and Stitches is a truly magical and devoted to their craft and continue to bring the night ablaze with their Vixen, Trick or Trash, and Pumpkin Cult collections. Visit lovepaintandstitches.com to find the perfect bag to suit your individual taste. And don't forget to browse their accessories for keychains, pins, and stickers. Also, you can follow them on Instagram at Love Paint and Stitches. Welcome back, Bats and Ghouls. As I mentioned just before the break, I was reminded of something I discussed on the show last season. That's right. If you've been tuning in regularly, you know it's time for once again to see how far is too far when it comes to pumpkin spice. And I can already see Rene laughing, which tells me that it's a good time to talk about how far is too far with pumpkin spice. So in season 2, on our 13th episode special with Kelsey Davies, Ashley from Ashley's Adventures, and that towering giant known as Tyler, I discussed with Rene and the Strange One the different types of foods that are made with pumpkin spice. And gentlemen, I have once again found some very interesting and, might I just say, exciting new pumpkin spice food items. Are you ready?
Do you want my honest answer?
I want your honest answer right now. Are you ready for this?
This part of this show, I am actually scared
Okay.
for.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
I like that. We are a spooky show.
Yes.
All right, here we go. So the first one that I found And you might actually like this because I'm trying to be a little nice about this. Number 1, pumpkin spice Greek yogurt.
That's not too far out there, but still.
Okay.
I think this list is just going to be like, how far will it go before a stranger loses his shit?
Yeah. Seriously.
All right, so pumpkin spice Greek yogurt. What do you guys think? You think you would try that?
I would try that.
Okay.
Just for the sake of it.
Strange one, what do you think?
No.
Oh, that was a direct no.
I would try it because it's seasonal.
Okay.
I feel like that wouldn't come again, and it's just like, okay, like one-time thing.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
All
I
right.
shall hold my tongue until the end of this list.
Well, I'm not a huge yogurt fan, but I will say that Greek yogurt, to my understanding, is actually a really good yogurt. A lot of people do try it. And pumpkin spice. So I actually took the time to go on YouTube and see about people's reactions to pumpkin spice Greek yogurt. A lot of people are saying that it's good. You do get that pumpkin spice flavor, which kind of gives you that reminding sense of it's fall. But other than that, I can't say that it's the number 1 thing that I would have.
No.
So number 2, pumpkin spice cough drops.
Oh, come on!
Now, we all get sick. We all have that flu that happens to us. Everyone gets a sore throat. And, they have the lemon flavor. They have the cherry flavor. I believe they have a grape flavor, too.
Yeah.
I like lemon honey myself.
Okay, lemon honey. Yeah, that's not bad. But this is pumpkin spice cough drops.
So basically, they're cough drops.
Yes.
Or rather, they're drops
Yes.
that make you cough.
No.
Because that's all I can imagine with pumpkin spice as a cough drop. You're like, oh, let me help my throat.
I mean, just the fact itself that it's pumpkin spice in a cough drop. I mean, you're sick and you also want that good fall feel. So why not suck on a cough drop that tastes like pumpkin spice?
I'd rather
Choke
eat
on a cough drop.
like a black licorice flavored cough drop.
Wow.
Thank you,
Black
Rene.
licorice. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Well, now, gentlemen, we're about to get a little crazy here.
Oof.
Number 3,
Yeah.
pumpkin spice Spam.
No.
Spam. Now, remember this. Spam is actually a delicacy in Hawaii.
It is.
Yes, and I love me some matsubi.
Right. So, according to a website known as cnet.com, pumpkin spice is actually was rated, not rated, but it was talked about. And the reviews were interesting. Very interesting, to say the least. Let's see here. So we got the parent company Hormel Foods. This was back in 2019. The parent company Hormel Foods was willing to sell a limited supply of pumpkin spice flavored Spam online at, guess what store? Walmart. Walmart.com. That's right.
Of course it would be Walmart, by the way. I had to just interject because of course it'd be Walmart.
Oh, absolutely. And spam.com. Go to spam.com and I promise you'll find
Come
pumpkin
on,
spice
Spam.
Yeah.
Come on, Spam. You're better than that.
Now, it was a limited edition Spam pumpkin spice that offers a blend of seasonal spices, including cinnamon, clove, allspice, and nutmeg. What do you think? Does it sound tasty?
I can see the clove because it reminds me a little bit of Thanksgiving.
But you're also putting that with the saltiness of Spam.
True.
Exactly.
True.
Which is why I was thinking of the cloves because it's just like ham.
Yeah.
Well, it's
Spam.
yeah, no, you're right. It is Spam.
It's Spam.
And yet, a reviewer for Food and Wine magazine said, pumpkin spice Spam certainly seems to err on the side of a breakfast food and could easily be slathered in maple syrup as you might with breakfast sausage.
I do not like that, actually. I like my
Interesting.
sausage spicy or, that sausage flavor. I like it separate.
Yeah.
Okay. I want my flavors separate.
I do like maple sausage, but that's it. That's as far as it goes. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm glad we're on the topic of sausage because number 4, pumpkin spice chicken sausage.
Oh, come on. Stop it, pumpkin spice. Stop it.
Pumpkin spice chicken sausage. Now, that sounds like a morning breakfast to me. What do you think?
No.
It still knows.
Enough.
Oh no.
I mean, let's put it this way. I thought we went too far the last time we talked about this when it was pumpkin spice salmon.
Oh, that's
See,
fine.
they should have stopped after pumpkin pie. That's it.
Pumpkin pie.
Pumpkin pie is the best of the pumpkin. Okay? Next best, pumpkin seeds. All right? But that's as far as I go.
Well,
Pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin. pumpkin pie.
You ever had pumpkin pie ice cream?
Actually, I've tasted that, but it makes me want, pumpkin pie.
Just the real thing.
I was like, I want pumpkin pie and a side of vanilla ice cream and some whipped cream.
I feel like pumpkin pie ice cream is the equivalent of coffee ice cream.
Yeah.
It makes no sense to me. Like, maybe that's just me. But
I see what you're coming from.
Yeah, it's a little strange.
I would turn that into like a smoothie, not a smoothie, but like a milkshake,
Yeah.
Okay.
And I can imagine that, because you can even do take pumpkin pie and just blend it with some ice cream, and then that's it. And you know what? I'd be happy with that. But you know what? We're not changing the recipe. We're not throwing it in freaking salmon or Spam or chicken sausage. We need to keep it where it's safe. Okay?
So does that mean they've tried it with other meats and it only pairs well with chicken sausage?
That's a good question. That's a good question, and I wish we could go any further with that, but it looks like that's another list they'll have to create for next year. Thank you, Rene.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. Though it is very strange of how far they're going with this pumpkin spice stuff. I mean, not only are they having all this foods and cough drops and stuff and medicine, but we've also got pumpkin spice scented stuff like candles. We've got pumpkin spice. Oh my gosh, pumpkin spice everything almost. Pumpkin spice cereal, pumpkin spice oatmeal. I mean, the list goes on and on and on. Now, I'm pretty sure by the time I'm done saying pumpkin spice, our bats and ghouls will be rushing to Starbucks or Dunkin' or anywhere else to go get some sort of pumpkin spice something, because it is pumpkin spice season. But that, gentlemen, is the list for this year's How Far is Too Far with pumpkin spice. Speaking of spooky fun, it's time for our word from our sponsor for this episode. Suffering from lack of interest of your average clothing, apparel, and accessories? Does your plain Jane shirt fail to excite you? Not to worry. This is a common occurrence and thankfully can be easily remedied. Cursed Creatures. Cursed Creatures has the shockingly appealing apparel and accessories to liven up any night. Bring the excitement in your evenings back from the dead with any of the exciting cursed items from Cursed Creatures. Cursed Creatures has everything you could need to brighten up the dark corners of the cemetery, including monster masks, pins, stickers, patches, and plushies. And be sure not to miss out on the exciting t-shirts they carry at Cursed Creatures. With mummies, vampires, werewolves, and bats, you will find all you need for an evening stroll through the graveyard at Cursed Creatures. Just visit them at cursedcreatures.bigcartel.com. That's cursedcreatures.bigcartel.com. So now we're going to move on to a spooky part of the show, to a segment I like to call My Paranormal Home with the Strange One. So, Strange One, last time you were on here, we had this conversation. This has been a while now. But the last time we had this conversation, you had some pretty spooky things going on in your home. I think you even talked about a strange, marble-like noise that was going on.
Yeah, definitely.
So if you could, please share with our bats and ghouls what has been going on since we last talked about your paranormal experience in your own home.
Most certainly. Well, that marble sound, as you mentioned before, it actually has gone away. At least I haven't noticed it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and it's kind of odd that it just automatically stops. But other things are happening. There's actually there's a couple other things that are kind of crazy. So the very first thing I would say is I'm still noticing little shadows in the side of my eye. And the other day I was actually just watching TV and the light was on because I was reading just before that. I had my TV paused and I was reading, and I had the light on so I could read. So there was, so basically the shadows that were being created were not from the TV, because normally if it's dark and the TV's playing, the shadows move with the light of the TV.
Right.
Well, that wasn't happening here. My light was on, so there was nothing to cast a shadow where I was seeing shadows. Now, To be more specific, I was sitting at my table in my dining room and looking towards the TV, and in the corner of my eye, right by the door, I see it looks like somebody standing there, and then all of a sudden the shadow that was there kind of just faded. Right.
Ooh.
And I do have something hanging on the door which would cast the shadow, but it was not. It doesn't expand the length of the wall. Like the shadow was casting further down than what the shadow on the wall or from my coat that was hanging would actually cast.
Okay.
So like basically my coat that's hanging on this hook casts the shadow against the door, but you can still see the bottom of the coat shadow and the floor. But for a moment, the shadow went all the way down to the floor. And I only noticed it when all of a sudden that shadow from the bottom of the coat to the bottom of the floor, like just faded away.
Whoa.
Like it was almost instantaneous, just gone.
Interesting. Okay.
Yeah. So that was weird, but I kind of just like, maybe it's just my mind, obviously trying to just, make sense of things. I don't jump to conclusions, but hey, I noticed that. Now, afterwards, I decided I'm going to lay down on the couch while watching TV. And then I get up because I want to get my bottle of water, which is on the other side of the coffee table. And as I'm getting up, on the right side of the coffee table, where my head was, almost like scurrying from the couch to the coffee table, it almost looked like what I would imagine is like a giant spider. Like it looked like the size of a cat to me, but it moved it was fairly clear. It wasn't like out of my peripheral. It was in my line of sight, but I wasn't looking directly at it. It was just on the corner of my eye, and I could see it as I was moving up, and I looked just quickly from one end to the next. It was just scurried. And I was like, okay, let's not make a big deal about that. And I left it alone. Also, I've noticed as well, the remote control. I've told you this before. All of a sudden it kind of wobbled.
Right. That's right. I do remember you talking about that.
So I left the room and I left everything on the coffee table, and I have a tendency to make sure everything is like fine, that's like settled, because I'm afraid things are going to fall and I'm going to lose them. So I always want to make sure that whatever I'm putting down is not going to fall when I walk away, like fall off the table, especially when I put like a cup down or whatever. But I walked to the restroom and I heard like the remote topple over like it did before, like I mentioned.
Right.
Now, again, I'm out of the room or I'm leaving the room, so I'm thinking, maybe something, it was off balance and imbalanced. I'm kind of just making excuses for it. But the next thing that happened was a little harder to explain. As I'm crossing the threshold into, I guess like it's, I don't know where, I guess it's like a foyer. I don't know. My bathroom, there's the bathroom with the shower, and then outside the door is the sink. You've been there.
Right.
So as I'm walking into where the sink is, before I even get to the bathroom, right at the door, I hear a smack. Kind of like the clackers that we use for sound effects on stage.
Oh, okay. Okay.
And it was pretty strong. It didn't sound like it was muffled, like if it came from upstairs or next door. It was right at the doorway, and there's a closet before you get to the next unit, and of course there's the unit above me. But it didn't sound muffled. It was clack, and I was like, okay, that was a little weird. That was too close for it to be in another unit, because I would have heard it muffled.
Right.
It was clear. It was crisp. And I thought that was really weird, but I went and handled my business and came back out and so forth. Besides that, while laying on my couch, I've noticed this odd shaking of my cushion on both sides of the cushion, like one arm to the next.
Interesting.
That one really threw me off because I could be sitting down or I can be laying down, and every once in a while I'll feel like almost like it's tapping, like consistently.
Oh, not like a vibrating sound, more like a tap.
No, it wasn't so much a sound as much as a sensation. Like I felt it. I felt it like if say you have a strong phone vibrating on the on the sofa cushion.
Right.
Now I tend to leave my phone always on the coffee table, because most times I'm leaving it there for work to make sure I see it if it's ringing or see it if it's going off. So I always put it on the coffee table and make sure it's in front of me, that I don't lose it. Especially I don't want to lose it in the cushions.
Right.
Because my couch, for some reason, it goes like, if you go into the cushion, it goes into the couch. So I don't want anything to slide in there. So I always make sure to keep everything on the coffee table so I don't lose things in the couch.
Okay.
So this was kind of odd. It was just like a rumbling, pretty consistent. It was weird. And I made sure to like keep my hands still, like be conscious of where my body was to make sure that I wasn't causing this. But I felt it on two ends of the sofa. And it's weird. And I always keep at least an inch away from the wall because I don't like to scuff the walls, the baseboards with the sofa. And I don't, of course, damage the sofa.
Yeah.
So I always keep a good distance between the wall and actually the back of the sofa. So it can't be rubbing against the wall. So that kind of throws me off a little bit. And that one's a little harder to explain. And speaking of spiders, I've been getting a lot of large spiders in my place, and I'm saying like large spiders, you know, like almost like baby tarantula type size spiders. And mind you, you know, they're not extremely large, but as I've told you before, there have been tarantulas right there because we're right off of the, you know, the little mountain that's right there.
Yeah.
So I've seen a couple of tarantulas in, you know, by my garage, never by the actual units, but there were some large spiders, and it actually happened just after I saw that shadow that looked kind of spiderish, the way it moved, you know, it was really creepy. And I just I'm letting things go. As I mentioned listeners in the past, I don't want to acknowledge what's going on in my place because I feel like by acknowledging, you're actually making things worse. You know, you're inviting something to come in. I feel like if I just pretend it's not even existing, like just ignore it, you know, not so much that it'll go away, but it won't cause a surge of more activity. And you know, so I'd rather be in denial than actually try to, you know, make something happen. And I'm very hesitant to actually record it because, again, by acknowledging something, I'm feeling like I'm inviting it to, you know, put on a show. The last thing that's probably the strangest, and this was actually just last week, I was reaching up to tug on the fan, the light switch on the fan, right? Because I needed some light in my room. So I was reaching up and it was dark. Now, I was wearing a pretty baggy shirt. As I was reaching up, the corner of my shirt felt like it was being held down.
Whoa.
Right. It was like, and there was nothing to tug on it. Like, there's nothing behind me. Like I'm in the gap between my wall and my bed.
Yeah.
And there was nothing there. So I was reaching up, and as I'm reaching, the shirt should have slid up, you know, had enough slack so that it wasn't going to tug on anything. But as I'm reaching, I felt like something was holding onto it. So it was stretching as I was reaching up. And mind you, I'm not like overstretching for the switch. Switch is like, you know, almost at eye level, just about, you know, at my forehead. So I'm just reaching forward to pull it down. But as I'm reaching, I feel like something's like pulling my shirt back.
Interesting.
Yeah, so I try to play it off, and I'm like, oh, look, my shirt got caught on my shorts.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
But there's definitely some things I'm having difficulties trying to explain, to be honest.
You have a very interesting area that you live in too. So it seems like some sort of activity has, or is not even has, but is taking place in your home. And I come to wonder if maybe there's something, I don't know, that happened in your home before you had moved in there, or maybe around the area before you had moved in there. I mean, even the area itself.
Well, what I know of the area is the community was actually built in the 1980s. So it's at least, of course, 30 years old, somewhere in there, seeing as I'm in my 30s. We're in our 30s. And so the one thing specifically that I know that's happened fairly recently is upstairs, one of my neighbors, his girlfriend who he was living with, she actually passed away.
Oh, interesting.
And she passed away in her sleep. He woke up and she was unresponsive. It was very sad. And, you know, I try to be there for him, you know, in the past couple of weeks and months. But either way, that's the only thing that I know for certain has happened in the buildings. And quite frankly, it's actually been kind of escalating. You know, the events have kind of escalated since then. So it's quite possible that has something to do with it, right? And maybe
that is a possibility. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, also the fact that it is September, which means that the veil has thinned out again, which means that spirits are once again making their way into our world. So, you know, and the fact that you just told me this, the fact that you had a neighbor whose girlfriend passed away, that could be another factor. I mean, there's a possibility that you have a spirit, her spirit, and she's roaming around. Maybe she's trying to get your attention. Maybe she's trying to tell you that there's something else other than, you know, her passing. But that is interesting. Very interesting that you have told me that. I forgot about that, actually.
Yeah, actually, I would say even if it's not her, I kind of feel like new spirits, in a sense, tend to draw in attention of others. So it's quite possible even that just, you know, the fact that she passed, there was something else that came, you know, came looking in a sense, you know?
Yeah.
And so it's quite possible, but I tried to remain skeptic as always, because I don't want to be that guy,
Right. Yeah. No,
but at the same time, you can't help but notice the odds going on that are happening.
Very interesting. Well, Strange One, thank you so much for updating us on what's been happening in your home, your paranormal home. I hope to be able to get more updates from you as the time goes on. This is very fascinating stuff.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, I believe that is all the time we have for this episode. If you enjoyed what you heard here, be sure to tune in to any of our previous episodes, which you can find on Stitcher, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. And now we're on Amazon Music. Can you believe it? We are on Amazon Music. Just search Into the Void, all caps. Also, give us a follow on both of our social media pages, Facebook at Pod Paranormal 87, Instagram at Void Podcast 18, and also make sure to visit the Strange One's Instagram, _ITB_Strange One. That's _ITB_Strange One. You can also visit our website at intothevoidpod.com to check out our latest in-studio pictures and more. Did you know we have a YouTube channel?
What?
Be sure to like and subscribe to our channel, Into the Void Podcast. That's Into the Void Podcast. And before I forget, check out our show store on Etsy. That's right. You can be the proud owner of some new, amazing Into the Void memorabilia. From mugs, t-shirts, and pillows and more, we have what you need in our store. And also, I am very happy to announce we have brand new merchandise in our store. That's right. Brand new merchandise. We have a new t-shirt known as the Bats and Ghouls t-shirt. It's a very lovely t-shirt, actually. It's wonderful. It's only for the Halloween season. Let me repeat this. It is only for the Halloween season. So it is for a limited time. That means come the end of October, this stuff will no longer exist in our store. So be sure to check out our Etsy store where we have tons of merchandise, brand new merchandise, waiting for you to check it out. You can find it all in our store. Visit Etsy.com and search Into the Void Shop Store. That's Into the Void Shop Store. And lastly, a big thank you to Rene and the Strange One for joining me today in today's episode. And Rene, where can our Bats and Ghouls find your podcast?
They can just search us on www.keepingupwiththenerds.com.
Wonderful. Well, make sure you join us on our next episode as we will be taking another look into the dark realm of shadow people. All right, Bats and Ghouls, I've got to go get to a full moon ceremony. So until next time, I'm G-Man, and I want to thank you for falling with me into the void.